You can say a lot about Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, but you can't say the man is cheap. He spends taxpayer dollars like it's coming out of his trust fund. And yet, he refuses to spend the money necessary to protect Canadians from a potential future pandemic. We need a healthcare system in Canada that can fight a pandemic and address other health issues at the same time. And he won't put the cash up. Last Friday in Regina, a group of Western Canadian politicians came together and demanded that the Prime Minister increase the federal government's share of the provincial health budget from 22% to 35%. That would be about $28 billion annually. But this wasn't just any group of politicians. This is a multi-partisan group, NDP, Conservative, and Liberal, from Western provinces and territories coming together. How often does that happen? How often do we see people from all these different parties on the same page, aligned with the same demands? Last year, when they asked Justin Trudeau for more funding for healthcare, he said we had to wait until after COVID-19 had passed. But when is that going to be, Mr. Prime Minister? Could it be when unvaccinated Canadians get to board planes and trains again? Well, that's a decision the federal government gets to make. So it seems like the ball is in Mr. Trudeau's court when it comes to deciding when COVID-19 is past us. But we can't wait around for the Prime Minister to see the urgency here. The reality is that hospitals and service providers across Canada are struggling with longer wait times and delayed services because of the pandemic. CBC News reports that in Ontario alone, cancer screenings have dropped 20 to 41% in the last 2 years. What that means practically is that there are 1,400 fewer Canadians who have had breast cancer diagnosed. Or in the case of colorectal cancer, hospitals are seeing people in more emergency situations by the time they're diagnosed with larger tumors than ever. This one hits home for me. I'm a cancer survivor. Back in 2018, I had stage 4 non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. I know how crucial, how critical a delay can be. In my case, a few months could have been the difference between life or death. We need a better healthcare system, and that's going to cost some money. The fact that we have a multi-partisan alliance asking for this should make all Canadians feel comfortable with this being a necessary step. And yet the Prime Minister, who writes checks for a lot of things, is hesitating to write checks on this one. Well, it's high time he started to listen. We need to make sure that no pandemic can hurt us like this again.